Welcome back. In this lecture, I'm going to talk about the AWS Step Functions workshop. Now, this is pretty much a large workshop, right? It's a hands-on workshop, so it's going to take you about 5 to 6 hours, but it's worth it. If you go through all of this workshop that is provided by AWS, by the way, you are going to become very, very proficient with AWS Step Functions, and along with all of the data ingestion and the processes, the architecture, and the workflows, right? So this workflow that AWS has set up is basically you will learn how to use primary features of this AWS Step Functions through a series of interactive modules, right? So this is something new. This is wonderful, right? So this will cover the Amazon state language, for example, the orchestration patterns, the states, the standard workflow, express workflows, like I mentioned earlier. You'll be working with Workflow Studio, input processing, the SDK, CDK, and AWS SAM deployments, right? So it gives you hosted and self-service options as well. So like I said, it's about 5 to 6 hours that you need to kind of sit down or do it step by step. On the left navigation, you'll notice it starts with the introduction and gives you some great details that you can go through along with example use cases that I've also covered. And then workshop setup tells you how to set this up. Some of the basics, of course, the Hello World setup, the workflow of that particular app, and then you can sort of like go through each one of these steps. So what you need to do is simply click on the URL or navigate to this URL, and it will take you to the catalog workshop where you'll have AWS access to these workshops right now. The word of caution is that make sure you understand that there may be some costs associated to it, right? Like I've covered earlier in the AWS Step Functions cost. So even though you're using a free tier account, but keep in mind, make sure you end up, deleting or wiping out all of your, or doing a cleanup, as they say, right? So make sure you do that. So it walks you through step by step what step functions are, common orchestration examples, the workflows, for example, the function states, right? As I mentioned earlier. And then you can go forward by just navigating through a series of interactive modules, right? So it's going to give you all of those as part of this particular workshop, okay? So this is something that I want to just highlight here. And of course, as a homework or as a practice, you can go through this, whether you want to set it up as a hosted option or a self-service option. You can simply click next and it will guide you step by step as to what you need to do when you are running the AWS Functions workshop, okay? So this is a great way to do hands-on learning. Again, 5 to 6 hours, but hey, it's worth it because that's what you're into. You want to be a data engineer, right? The AWS certified data engineer. So you need to go through all of this, which gives you great hands-on experience while working with live AWS platform. And then of course, going through all of this. So let me know if you have any questions along this workshop. I've gone through this a few times myself, but if you get stuck anywhere, just let me know as you're walking through it. It's pretty straightforward. And another advantage to this is that you will go through some of the links that it shows you as you go beyond or start working with these modules, okay? So for example, right under each image here or the workshop steps, it gives you links also to white papers, some blog articles about AWS, right? So this is really, really nice and very, very excellent resource that I've found, and I've already talked about this, right? How you can use this. So go ahead, use this workshop. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to leave a link for this workshop lab right in the description, right? So right in the resource, or you can go to the download resource section and you will find this workshop link there as well. So with this, let's move to the next lesson.